Of course, the ad creation is like, it's the last piece of the puzzle, right? Like, and I think I talk about this on most of my sales calls. So, and we may have talked about this in the podcast before, so I'll keep it brief. But I think there's like sort of three pieces of the puzzle to generate great ads. The first piece of the puzzle is a gap analysis. I've built a free tool, adlib.skipper.ai or adlib.getskipper.ai, where you can put in your brand. It will show you like, these are the personas, formats, angles, and emotions that you're not focused on that you should be focusing on. And it'll give you 10 recommendations on ads to build. That's sort of piece one. So it's like, you are focusing on these personas, and like, especially for folks that are struggling with CAC, and it's like, we can't get new customers, our CAC keeps flying. The issue is you probably keep targeting the same people again and again. So you've trained your pixel to just like look for the same type of person, right? Like, you need to be training people. You need to be training Meta's pixel to be looking for new audiences. So sort of the gap analysis is one, and I'll add to that in a moment. The second piece of the puzzle is time series analysis. I think the antiquated way of thinking about things is, we had that great ad in January. Like, why didn't we ever do anything more like that? Or why didn't we ever hit up that creator again? Or like, we had that, static that did really well. Like, why did we turn that off? Like, this is how agencies and brands talk. And it's just like, it feels like the Stone Ages, because like, what you can do at this point is, using the Meta API, I would say use the Meta API. Don't use the MCP. The MCP sort of breaks. Even the Meta API sort of sucks, but it's better than the MCP. What you can do is you can pull all of your ads that you've ever run. You can use Claude Sonnet 4.6, and you can tag every ad you've ever created with persona, angle, format, emotion, and ad type. And then you can correlate that to performance. And so you can say like, okay, for the past 5 years, like, these combinations have been my winning formulas. And like, here are the ads to back that up. So if you're creating a system where you are never losing learnings, like, every learning is compounding on one another. And that's like also why like creative velocity is so important, right? Like, the more ads you're putting into the system, and like, I know this is like a controversial take. I'm of the opinion, like, for every $1,000 you're spending, you need to be testing a net new creative. And I don't mean an iteration. I don't mean a new hook. I mean like a net new creative, right? Even if it doesn't get enough spend, you'll still get signals that will go into that time series analysis that will tell you, this persona, angle, emotion had a great CTR. So like, maybe there's a CRO optimization you can do. So anyway, so we have the gap analysis, the time series analysis. And then the third piece of the puzzle, and this is what we're building with Skipper, is social listening. Looking at what folks are saying in your reviews, what folks are saying on Reddit, on Trustpilot, on Quora, on Amazon, and saying, okay, these are like my core 8 to 12 personas. This is what they care about the most with a product. Like, these are the angles that they care about the most. And then what you do is, with the social listening, the time series, the gap analysis, you put that together and you have this really nice Venn diagram of like, here's what the gap analysis is telling me to do. Here's what my time series analysis is telling me to do. Here's what people talking about my brand are telling me to do. Where's the overlap? Okay, great. Here's the overlap. Here are the ads we should be creating. And so like, when we now have an AI, we call it AI creative only team, but there are 8 people on it, right? Like, the whole idea is like, there's humans in the loop every step of the way. Like, we are not at the point, and I cannot reiterate this enough because I get this question almost every day. We're not at the point yet where you can get 10 out of 10 perfect ads using AI alone. You may get really good ones. Maybe 9 out of 10 are really, really good. But maybe few won't have the safe zone or whatever it is, right? So when we have the center of that Venn diagram, right, we can give that to a creative strategist. The model will say, hey, this is what I'd recommend putting together based on those three things I outlined. The creative strategist will say, great, give me 20 ads, 20 pieces of copy. It'll spit out the copy. Creative strategist will review the copy. Great. If they like it, great. If not, not so good. Again, like I said, 4.7, we were rewriting a lot of the copy. I just did this Wirecutter ads for this client today, and the copy is really good. And so I think Opus 4.8 really, helped out with that. Granted, it took like 3-4 hours. And then the ads are generated. We're just using an Fel.ai API, so it lands directly in our Cloud Code folder. Of course, you can use Higgsfield as well. And then I think where I was being really too stubborn for too long was I was saying like, we don't need to necessarily have an editor touch these up. But as we have been now selling this workflow to enterprise, that's just like not a you sort of need to have that. So
looking at it,
yeah. So we have 3 people in the U.S. that are generating statics with AI, and then they go to our editing team. We have a 24-hour SLA, and what the editing team effectively is, they're just like brand guideline Nazis. They're just ensuring that the fonts are perfect, the colors are perfect, the product looks right, everything's in the safe zone, and that's their job. Right? It's just like it's a QC team. Because when we're at the scale now that we're generating so many creatives, it's hard to be like, is that going to get cut off by Meta's UI? Like we just needed a dedicated team to do that, and AI will get you very, very close. I would say of all the AI statics we're creating, 90 we're getting to 90 to 95% of the way there. It's just like those sort of final touches, right? And especially for the brands that really care about pixel perfection. Like if the logo's size is 2 pixels off, they're going to be like, that's wrong. So that's where having an editor come into play really makes a big difference at the end game. Yeah.
So this is how you've built what you're doing and selling now, and hopefully those of you that are listening can take pieces of that and maybe even think about it in your own agency.